The text from Maya glowed on my phone. "We need to talk. It's urgent." I stared at those words, feeling the familiar twist in my stomach that came with any contact from my sister. My name is Kaya, and I've spent my entire life being the responsible one, the steady one, the boring one, at least according to my family. "Did you see Maya's latest post?" Mom's voice crackled through my phone's speaker earlier that morning. 2 million views already. The brand deals are just rolling in now. "That's great, Mom," I replied, shuffling papers at my desk in the social services office. "Listen, I need to go. I have a client coming in." "Oh, that reminds me," she cut in. "Maya needs some help with her new content schedule. Could you maybe take a few days off to help her film? Since your job is more flexible." I caught Dylan's eye across the office. He raised an eyebrow at my expression, already knowing who was on the phone. "Mom, I can't take time off to help Maya film TikToks. I have actual responsibilities here." "It's Instagram Reels now, honey, and this is family. Maya's about to sign with Sephora. Sephora, do you know what that could mean for her? More debt," I thought. More second mortgages on the house. More credit cards maxed out for ring lights and designer clothes that would end up in Maya's infamous closet clean-out videos. "I have to go, Mom. Real client. Real job." I hung up before she could protest. Dylan wheeled his chair over. "The Maya show still running strong?" "Stronger than ever," I sighed. "They just refinanced the house again to fund her summer content calendar, whatever that means." "Jesus," Dylan shook his head. "How much have they sunk into her influencer career now?" "I stopped counting after the second mortgage, but hey, what do I know? I just help actual people with actual problems for a living." Emma, my supervisor, called me into her office then. As I walked in, I caught my reflection in the window. Sensible blazer, practical haircut, the opposite of Maya's carefully curated aesthetic. Emma was reviewing a case file. "Your work with the Thompson family has been exceptional," she said, looking up. "The mother specifically requested to thank you. Said you changed their lives." I smiled, but before I could respond, my phone buzzed again. Maya's face filled the screen. A perfect selfie she'd spent hours staging for her profile picture. "Sorry, I should take this," I told Emma, stepping out. "Maya?" "Kaya!" Her voice was tight, controlled panic. "I need you to wire me $5,000, like today." "What? Why?" "The collab house in LA is raising rent, and if I leave now, I'll lose all my connections. Mom and Dad already said they can't help this time." "Because they have nothing left to give you," I said flatly. "The house. God, you're so dramatic. It's called investing in your future. Not that you'd understand, stuck in that depressing office all day." I watched through the window as Dylan helped a young mother fill out housing assistance forms. "You're right, Maya. I wouldn't understand investing hundreds of thousands in followers and likes while our parents lose everything." "Whatever. Are you going to help me or not?" "Not." She hung up. Minutes later, the text arrived. "We need to talk. It's urgent." I showed Dylan the message during lunch. He pushed his sandwich aside, leaning forward. "You know what this means, right? The house of cards is finally falling." "Maybe," I said, but something else was forming in my mind, something that had been building for years of watching, waiting, saving. "Hey, you still know that real estate agent? The one who handles foreclosures?" "Rodney? Yeah, why?" I pulled up my banking app, looking at the careful savings I'd accumulated over years of living below my means. "I think I might need his number." Dylan's eyes widened as he understood. "Kaya, are you thinking what I think you're thinking?" "They always said that house was Maya's stage," I said quietly. "Maybe it's time for a change in ownership." My phone buzzed again. Mom this time. I let it go to voicemail, already knowing what it would say. More panic, more demands, more guilt. But for the first time in my life, I felt something other than resignation. I felt ready. "Get me Rodney's number," I told Dylan. "I think it's time I made an investment of my own." The first sign of Maya's downfall came during a live stream. I wasn't watching, I never did, but the clips spread everywhere. My sister, caught in 4K, mocking her followers for being too poor to buy her merchandise. The internet's response was swift and merciless. "It's all being taken out of context," Mom insisted when I visited that weekend. I could hear her pacing in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear. "Maya, sweetie, we'll hire a PR team. We'll fix this." I sat in the living room, surrounded by the remnants of Maya's latest photo shoot, designer clothes with tags still attached, scattered across the furniture. A stack of unopened bills sat on the coffee table. "What do you mean Sephora's pulling out?" Mom's voice cracked. No, we can't lose them. Maya, listen to me." The sound of something shattering in the kitchen made me jump. I found Mom standing amid broken glass, her phone still clutched in her hand. "Mom, are you okay?" She looked at me like she'd forgotten I was there. "Your sister, they're saying her followers are fake, that she bought them. They're all dropping her." "The sponsors?" "Everyone!" She grabbed my arm. "Kaya, you have to help. You're good with computers, right? There must be something you can do to fix this." I gently removed her hand. "This isn't a technical problem, Mom. It's a reality problem." Later that night, I found Dad in his study, staring at a letter. His hands were shaking. "Dad?" He looked up, his face ashen. "The bank. They're foreclosing on the house." "What?" "We thought Maya's Sephora deal would cover the payments, but now—" He crumpled the letter. "Don't tell your mother, please." I drove home in a daze, pulling over twice to throw up. Not from shock, I'd seen this coming for years, but from anger, pure, crystallizing anger. The next morning I called Rodney. "Foreclosures are tricky," he said over coffee. "But if you're serious about buying, I can help you navigate the process. You'll need proof of funds." I slid a folder across the table. 6 years of savings, solid credit score, pre-approval letter from my bank. I've been preparing for something like this. Rodney whistled as he reviewed the documents. "You're really going to buy your parents' house?" "They're not just losing a house," I said. "They're losing Maya's studio, her content creation space, her dream factory. I'm buying back reality." That evening, Maya went live again. This time she was crying, claiming cyberbullying and cancel culture. The comments were brutal. "Exposed," "fake followers," "check her social blade, she lost 500K followers overnight." My phone rang. It was Samantha, Maya's former manager. "Your sister is toxic," she said without preamble. "I tried to warn your parents months ago, but they wouldn't listen. Do you know she faked sponsorship contracts to get them to invest more?" My hand tightened around the phone. "What?" "Inflated numbers, photoshopped brand deals. She showed them fake revenue statements to keep the money flowing. I have proof." I thought about the second mortgage, the refinancing, the credit cards. "Send me everything." After hanging up, I opened my laptop and started the foreclosure paperwork. Dylan texted, "You sure about this?" Before I could respond, Mom called. "Kaya, we need you to move back home," she said. "Maya's coming back from LA. We need to present a united front while she rebuilds her brand." "No." "What do you mean, no? We're family." "Family?" I laughed. "For years, I watched you drain every resource into Maya's fantasy. Now reality's here, and suddenly you remember I exist? You're being selfish." "I'm being smart," I said, "and I'm done being invisible." I hung up and finished the paperwork. My hands were steady as I typed in the bid amount, exactly what the bank was asking, not a penny more. Years of watching, waiting, and saving had led to this moment. My phone pinged with an email from Rodney. "Bid submitted. Now we wait." I walked to my window, looking out at the city lights. For the first time, I felt powerful, not from anger or revenge, but from the quiet strength of patience rewarded. Another text from Dylan. "Whatever happens, I'm proud of you." I smiled, thinking of Maya's favorite saying from her influencer days. Sometimes you have to risk it all for the perfect shot. Well, sister, I thought, let's see who risked better. Maya's return home wasn't the triumphant comeback she'd planned. I watched from my car as she dragged designer suitcases up the driveway, her face hidden behind oversized sunglasses despite the cloudy day. No camera crew, no adoring fans, just Mom rushing out to help while Dad carried in boxes labeled ring lights and streaming equipment. I waited until they were inside before walking up to the door. Mom answered my knock with forced cheerfulness. "Kaya, we were just about to call you. Come in, come in. Maya's setting up her new content studio in the dining room." The dining room where we used to have family meals was now a maze of ring lights, backdrops, and tangled cords. Maya sat cross-legged on the floor, scrolling through her phone. "Only lost another 1,000 followers today," she announced to no one in particular. "The comeback starts now. That's why we wanted to talk to you," Mom said, ushering me to sit. "We're launching Maya 2.0, more authentic, more real. And we thought, what better way to show that than a series about family?" I felt my stomach drop. "What?" Maya finally looked up. "It's perfect, right? Finding My Way Home, a documentary-style series about reconnecting with my roots. You'll be like the grounded sister who helps me rediscover what matters." "Absolutely not." "Kaya," Mom pleaded, "this could save everything. The house that's in foreclosure?" I watched their faces freeze. "Yeah, I know about that." Dad stepped forward. "We were going to tell you." "When? After you lost it completely?" I stood up. "How much money did you pour into Maya's career while lying to me?" "It wasn't lying," Maya snapped. "It was protecting our family brand. Not that you'd understand marketing." "Marketing?" I laughed. "Is that what we're calling fraud now?" The room went silent. Maya's phone slipped from her hand. "What did you say?" Mom whispered. "Ask Maya about the fake contracts. Ask her about the inflated revenue statements she showed you to keep the money flowing. Samantha told me everything." Maya jumped up. "Samantha's lying. She's just jealous because I fired her." "She quit," I corrected, "right before everything fell apart. Funny timing, isn't it?" "Enough!" Dad shouted, making us all jump. He never raised his voice. "Kaya, if you're not here to help, then why are you here?" I looked around the room, at Mom's desperate face, Maya's defensive posture, Dad's defeated slump. "I came to say goodbye to the house, and to tell you not to bother asking me for money." "But you have savings," Mom said. "We're family." "Family?" I pulled out my phone and played the clip, Maya mocking me on a podcast last year. "My sister? Oh God, she's like so basic. Literally works in some depressing government office, helping poor people or whatever. Couldn't be me." Maya had the grace to look away. "That was just content." "Everything's just content to you, isn't it? Well, here's some reality. I'm done. Done being your backup plan, your ATM, your boring sister plot device. Find another way to save yourselves." I walked to the door, but Mom grabbed my arm. "Please, Kaya, we need you. Maya needs you. Just a small loan." "No." I gently removed her hand. "Maya's not the only one who can set boundaries." "Boundaries?" Maya scoffed. "Is that what they teach you in social worker school? How to abandon your family?" My phone buzzed. A text from Rodney. "Bid accepted. Congratulations. You got the house." A calm settled over me as I turned to face them one last time. You know what they taught me? How to recognize toxic patterns, how to protect myself, and most importantly, how to let people face the consequences of their own actions. "What's that supposed to mean?" Maya demanded. "It means goodbye." I opened the door. "You should start packing. The bank will want you out soon." "Wait," Dad called as I reached my car. "What do you know about the foreclosure?" I didn't answer. Let them wonder. Let them worry. Let them finally feel what I'd felt all these years. Uncertainty, powerlessness, invisibility. Dylan was waiting at my apartment with takeout and wine. How'd it go? Exactly as expected. I showed him Rodney's text. I own their house. He poured 2 glasses. To karma. To patience, I corrected, thinking of Maya's face when I mentioned the contracts. The long game always wins. My phone lit up with text from Mom, pleading, angry, desperate. I turned it off and took a long sip of wine. The real show was about to begin, and for once, I had front row seats. The day they had to leave, I timed my arrival perfectly. Maya was loading the last of her ring lights into a rental truck while Mom supervised the movers carrying out furniture. Dad sat on the front steps, head in his hands. None of them noticed my car pulling up, or Rodney walking beside me up the driveway. Just a few final signatures, Rodney announced, making them all turn. Mom dropped the clipboard she was holding. Kaya, what's going on? Who is this? Rodney Fox, real estate agent, he said, extending his hand. No one took it. I'm here to complete the transfer of ownership. Maya stepped forward, her designer sunglasses slipping down her nose. Transfer of what? I pulled the keys from my pocket, letting them catch the morning light. The house. I bought it. The silence that followed was deafening. Dad stood up slowly, his face pale. That's not possible. Actually, it is. Rodney opened his briefcase. Ms. Ramirez's bid was accepted by the bank 2 weeks ago. All the paperwork is finalized. You? Maya's voice cracked. You're the buyer? Mom rushed forward, grabbing my shoulders. Honey, this is perfect. You can stop this whole foreclosure nonsense. We can stay. I stepped back, breaking her grip. No, you can't. But we're your family. Family? I looked at the house, my house now. Was I family when you remortgaged my college fund for Maya's first PR team? When you skipped my graduation because Maya had a brand meeting? When you told me my career choice was embarrassing? That was different, Maya protested. I was building something. You were destroying something, I corrected. Our parents' financial security, their retirement, their home. Well, my home now. Dad finally spoke, his voice hollow. Where are we supposed to go? Maya has millions of followers, right? I smiled. I'm sure they'll help. This is cruel, Mom whispered. This isn't you, Kaya. You're right. The old Kaya would have helped, would have given you her savings, moved back home, played the supportive sister in Maya's comeback story. But that Kaya is gone. Rodney cleared his throat. We should complete the paperwork before the movers finish. Maya stormed up to me, tears streaking her makeup. You planned this. All along you were just waiting. Like you waited? Watched Mom and Dad drain their accounts, lose their retirement, risk everything for your brand? I met her gaze steadily. At least I was honest about it. Please, Mom tried again. We can work something out. A rental agreement. No. I turned to Rodney. Where do they need to sign? The next few minutes were a blur of paperwork and stilted signatures. Maya filmed the whole thing on her phone, probably planning some revenge post. I didn't care. The keys, I said finally, holding out my hand. Dad placed them in my palm, his hand shaking. You're really doing this. You can pick up your mail from the porch, I said, walking past them to unlock my front door. But don't come inside. This isn't over, Maya called after me. You have no idea what you've done. I turned in the doorway, my doorway now. Actually, I do. I bought back every moment you made me feel small, every time you chose her over me, every sacrifice I was expected to make for the family while she burned through your money. I bought it all, and now I own it. You'll regret this, Mom said, but her voice wavered. No. I stepped inside, feeling the weight of the house around me. I won't. I watched from the window as they loaded the last boxes. Maya went live on her phone, probably spinning some victim narrative. Mom kept looking back at the house, as if waiting for me to change my mind. Dad just stared straight ahead, already defeated. My phone buzzed. Dylan. Need company? Not yet, I texted back. I need to feel this first. I walked through the empty rooms, touching walls that had witnessed years of my invisibility. The dining room where Maya's ring lights had left marks on the hardwood. The kitchen where Mom had planned countless content strategies while ignoring my achievements. The living room where Dad had signed away their future, one contract at a time. All mine now. Outside, engines started. I didn't watch them leave. Instead, I walked to Maya's old room, the biggest bedroom, of course, and began ripping down the LED strips and backdrop hooks. Time to redecorate, time to reclaim, time to make this house what it always should have been. A home. You're going to want to see this, Dylan said, holding up his phone as he walked into my newly painted living room. 3 weeks had passed since I'd taken possession of the house. I set down my paintbrush. What now? He pressed play on a video. Maya sitting in someone's podcast studio, mascara running down her face. My own sister, she sobbed, manipulated our family and stole our generational home. She waited until we were vulnerable. Turn it off, I said, but Dylan shook his head. Keep watching. The host leaned forward. But isn't it true that your parents lost the house due to multiple mortgages taken out to fund your influencer career? Maya's face shifted. That's not... You don't understand. I was building an empire. An empire built on fake followers and forged brand deals? The camera caught Maya's flinch perfectly. She ripped off her microphone and stormed out, but not before screaming, "This interview is over. My lawyer will be in touch." Dylan stopped the video. It's going viral. The comments are not kind. I picked up my paintbrush again, continuing to cover the hot pink accent wall Maya had insisted on. Good. You don't seem worried. About what? Maya threatening legal action? Let her try. I have the paperwork, the bank records, and Samantha's evidence about the fake contracts. Dylan started helping me paint. Speaking of Samantha, she called the office looking for you today. My hand froze mid-stroke. What did she want? Wouldn't say, just that it's important. We worked in silence for a while, transforming the garish pink into a calm sage green. The whole house was slowly changing. Maya's content creation spaces becoming actual living areas, the cluttered makeup room now a home office, the backyard finally cleared of abandoned ring lights and tripods. Remember when she filmed that skincare ad here? Dylan asked, pointing to a spot by the window. The one where she pretended to wake up looking perfect? Took 17 takes, I said. Mom kept bringing her green smoothies between shots while I studied for my social work licensing exam in the garage because the lighting was too harsh inside. And now look at you. I stepped back to admire our handiwork. Yeah, look at me. My phone buzzed. An email from Samantha. Maya's planning something. Call me ASAP. Before I could respond, a notification popped up. Maya had tagged me in a post. The image showed her sitting in what looked like a lawyer's office, caption reading, "The truth about family betrayal coming soon. Time to expose the real villain in this story. Justice is coming. Family over everything." Dylan read it over my shoulder. She's bluffing. Of course she is. I opened my banking app, checking the house payment schedule. All on track. She has nothing. Still, he said, maybe call Samantha. Better to know what we're dealing with. I was about to agree when someone knocked on the door. Through the window, I saw Mom standing on the porch, clutching her purse. I'll get rid of her, Dylan offered, but I shook my head. No, I've got this. Mom looked smaller somehow, her designer clothes replaced with department store basics. Kaya, please, just hear me out. Why? So you can guilt me about Maya's latest meltdown? No, She glanced past me into the house, seeing the changes. You painted? Yes. It looks nice, peaceful. She twisted her hands together. Maya's talking about suing you. She's meeting with lawyers, making wild claims. Let her. You don't understand. She's desperate. When people are desperate, like you were, I cut in. Desperate enough to drain your retirement? Refinance 3 times? Ignore every red flag because Maya promised you fame? Mom's shoulders slumped. We made mistakes. No, you made choices, and now you're living with them. Andrea? Dylan called from inside. The mail's on the porch, like always. Mom flinched at the dismissal. I needed you to know what's coming. I've always known what's coming, Mom. I just prepared for it better than you did. As she turned to leave, my phone buzzed again. Samantha. Maya's going nuclear. She's planning to claim elder abuse, saying you manipulated your parents during a mental health crisis. Call me. I watched Mom walk away, her steps heavy. Inside, Dylan was already on his laptop, pulling up legal resources. We should probably get ahead of this, he said. I looked around my house, my peaceful, quiet house, and felt a strange calm. Maya wanted nuclear? Fine. She wasn't the only one with evidence to share. Call Samantha, I told Dylan. It's time to show Maya what real consequences look like. Samantha's office looked exactly like you'd expect for a social media manager. Motivational quotes on the walls, a ring light permanently positioned by her desk, and a wall of photos featuring her with various influencers. Maya's photo was conspicuously absent. Elder abuse? Emma said, reviewing the documents spread across Samantha's desk. I'd asked my supervisor to join us, knowing her social work expertise might help. That's a serious accusation. It's also completely false, Samantha replied, pulling up emails on her laptop. Look at these exchanges between Maya and her parents. She's the one who pressured them into taking out loans, refinancing the house, maxing out credit cards. Dylan leaned forward. How much evidence do you have? Everything. Samantha turned her screen toward us. Fake contracts she created to show sponsors, inflated engagement numbers, even scripts she wrote for her parents to read when banks questioned their loan applications. Why didn't you come forward sooner? I asked. Samantha's face tightened. I tried, sent anonymous tips to some sponsors, warned your parents directly. But Maya, she's convincing when she wants to be, and they wanted to believe so badly. Emma picked up one of the contracts. This is straight up fraud, which is exactly why she won't actually sue, Dylan said. She can't risk this coming out in discovery. My phone buzzed, a text from Maya. Last chance, sis. Back off, or everyone learns what kind of person you really are. I showed it to the others. Samantha laughed darkly. She's desperate. Her new manager called me yesterday trying to do damage control. Apparently, Maya's been approaching brands with a comeback story about family betrayal. No one's biting. Because they've seen the podcast Meltdown, Dylan added. Not just that. Samantha pulled up another document. Remember those fake followers? The brands did their homework this time. They know her engagement rates were artificially inflated. She's radioactive in the industry now. Emma touched my arm. Are you sure you want to fight this? Sometimes family conflicts are better resolved privately. She made it public, I said, pointing to Maya's latest Instagram story, a tearful monologue about toxic family members and the truth coming soon. Then let's end it publicly, Samantha said. She opened a folder labeled Insurance Policy. I kept everything, every manipulated screenshot, every fake contract, every threatening message to sponsors who questioned her numbers. The question is, are you ready to use it? Before I could answer, my phone rang. Dad. Kaya, his voice was tired. Maya's saying she's going to sue you for emotional distress. Claims you deliberately targeted her when she was vulnerable. Is that what she told you? I don't know what to believe anymore. He paused. The bank called. They're investigating the loan applications we submitted. Something about fraudulent documentation. I met Samantha's eyes. She nodded slowly. Dad, Maya faked the sponsorship contracts you showed the bank. She inflated the numbers to get you to invest more. That's not possible. Check your email. I'm sending you proof right now. Samantha forwarded the documents while I stayed on the line. I heard Dad's sharp intake of breath as he opened them. "Oh, God," he whispered. "What did we do? What did we let her do?" "You believed in her," I said softly. "She counted on that." After I hung up, the room was quiet. Emma studied the contracts while Dylan and Samantha exchanged looks. "She'll self-destruct when this comes out," Dylan warned. "She's already self-destructing," I replied. "The only difference is now she won't take anyone else down with her." My phone lit up with a voicemail from Maya. "You think you've won, but I've got one last surprise for you. Hope you're ready for everyone to see who you really are." Samantha raised an eyebrow. "Shall we show her who she really is first?" I looked at the evidence spread across the desk. Years of manipulation and lies, carefully documented. The weapon Maya never thought her former manager would use. "Do it," I said. Emma squeezed my hand. "Are you sure? This will change everything." "Everything already changed," I replied, thinking of my quiet house, my peaceful mornings, my life finally free from Maya's chaos. Now it's time for the truth to catch up. Samantha began typing an email to her media contacts. Dylan pulled up Maya's latest threatening post on his phone. Emma reviewed the legal implications one more time. And I felt nothing but calm. Maya wanted to go nuclear? Fine. But she'd forgotten one crucial detail. She wasn't the only one who'd been keeping receipts. Maya's expose livestream started exactly as expected, with perfect lighting, carefully crafted tears, and a prepared speech about family betrayal. I watched from my office with Dylan and Emma, while Samantha monitored the comments remotely. "My own sister," Maya's voice cracked perfectly on cue, "took advantage of our family's darkest moment. She manipulated our vulnerable parents, stole our generational home." "Comments are turning," Samantha texted. "People are asking about the mortgages." Right on time, the first news article dropped. "Influencer burnout, the real cost of social media fame," complete with documentation of Maya's fake contracts, inflated numbers, and the trail of financial destruction she'd left behind. Maya's livestream faltered as comments began flooding in with links to the article. That's not," she stammered, reaching for her phone. "Those documents are fake." "They're not," I typed in the comments section. "And you know it." The viewer count doubled, then tripled. Maya's carefully constructed narrative crumbled in real time as more media outlets picked up the story. "Your parents refinanced their home 3 times, one commenter wrote, "to fund your fake career." "Those contracts were forged," another added. "You could go to jail." Maya's perfect facade cracked. "You don't understand. I was building something. Kaya was jealous. She always has been." "Jealous of what?" I commented. "The fraud, the fake followers, the way you bankrupted our parents." The live stream chat exploded. Maya's hands shook as she tried to delete comments, but they came too fast. "Show's over," Samantha messaged. "Her manager just dropped her publicly." Maya's phone buzzed visibly on screen, probably seeing the news herself. Her face went pale. "This isn't... I can explain." She looked directly into the camera. "Kaya, what have you done?" "Told the truth," I typed. "Something you should try sometime." The stream ended abruptly. Minutes later, my phone rang. "Mom." "Did you see?" Her voice was hollow. "Yes." "The bank called. They're investigating the loan applications for fraud. Your father, he's talking about calling a lawyer himself to protect us from Maya." I closed my eyes. "Good." "Good?" Mom's voice cracked. "Our family is falling apart." "No, Mom. It fell apart years ago. You just didn't want to see it." A notification popped up. Maya's Instagram was gone, deleted, her Twitter too. The carefully curated empire vanishing with a few clicks. "She's running," Dylan observed. "Let her," Emma said. "The truth will follow." My phone buzzed again. Dad this time, but not calling. A text. "I'm sorry for everything. You were right all along." Before I could respond, Samantha called. Maya's former sponsors are coming forward. Apparently, she didn't just fake contracts with your parents. She forged brand deals, too. It's going viral. I walked to my window, looking out at my quiet street, my peaceful house. Is it wrong that I don't feel bad? No, Dylan stood beside me. They chose this, all of it. Another text came through from Maya, her last words before disappearing completely. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything. No, I typed back. You did that yourself. I just bought the house. Hours later, as the story spread across every platform Maya once dominated, Mom appeared on my porch. This time, she didn't knock. She just left an envelope and walked away. Inside was a letter. You were always the strong one, the smart one. We were wrong, so wrong. I don't expect forgiveness, but I need you to know I see you now. I'm sorry it took losing everything to finally see. Dylan read it over my shoulder. Are you okay? Yeah, I realized I meant it. I really am. My phone lit up with a final notification, a local news headline. Social media star Maya deletes all accounts amid fraud allegations, family controversy. Emma called to check on me. The truth isn't always pretty, she said, but it's always necessary. I looked around my house, my quiet, peaceful house, and felt the last weight lift. Maya's empire of lies had crumbled. Mom finally saw clearly. Dad was facing reality. And me? I was exactly where I needed to be. Want to help me plant that garden tomorrow? Dylan asked, knowing I'd always dreamed of transforming the backyard Maya had used for photo shoots. Yeah, I smiled. It's time to grow something real. Outside, the sun set on Maya's last day of fame, while inside, I felt nothing but peace. Sometimes karma doesn't need your help. Sometimes you just need to buy the house and wait for truth to do its work. The first flowers in my garden bloomed on the same morning Dad's lawyer called. Maya had been found in Miami, trying to rebuild her influencer career under a new name. It hadn't worked. She's agreed to cooperate, the lawyer said. She'll sign a confession about the fraudulent loans to protect you and your wife from liability. I knelt in the dirt, touching the soft petals of a newly opened peony. And? She's asking to come home, to apologize. The garden stretched before me, rows of flowers where Maya's ring lights once stood, herbs replacing her backdrop stands, life growing where artifice once ruled. No, I said simply. This is my home now. Dylan arrived with coffee and bagels, finding me still in the garden. You're up early. Maya wants to apologize. He sat on the garden bench we'd built together. And nothing. Some things can't be fixed with an apology. My phone buzzed. Emma. Turn on the news. The local station was running a feature. Social media, the hidden cost of influence. They interviewed former influencers, including Samantha, about the culture of fake metrics and financial destruction. Maya's story was the cautionary tale. Still feel weird seeing our family drama out there? Dylan asked. No, I realized. It needed to be seen. The doorbell rang. Mom stood on the porch, holding a small plant. It's a peace lily, she said before I could speak. I remember you always wanted one, but Maya said they didn't look good on camera, so you never got one? She nodded, eyes on the garden. You've made this place beautiful, real. That was the point. Your father and I, she paused. We're selling Maya's equipment, all of it. Using the money to start paying you back for... Keep it, I said. Use it for therapy instead. She blinked back tears. Would it be okay if I came by sometimes to help with the garden? I thought about all the times I'd wanted her attention, her approval, her love. The herbs need weeding on Saturdays. She nodded, understanding the boundary, the limited invitation. Thank you. After she left, Dylan helped me plant the peace lily. You're different now, he observed. Better different or worse different? Stronger different. He brushed dirt from my cheek. Happier different. My phone lit up with a text from Dad. The lawyer has Maya's signed confession. It's over. But it wasn't over. Not really. It was just settled, like soil after rain, like roots finding their place. Want to hear something funny? I asked Dylan. Maya used to say this house was her stage, and now it's my sanctuary. I looked around at the home I'd reclaimed, not because I took it from them, but because I made it mine. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Samantha, holding a folder. Maya's trying to rebrand again, she said, but no one's buying it, literally. She can't get sponsors, can't get followers, can't even get a regular job because her fraud story is all over the internet. That's not my problem anymore. Samantha smiled. No, it's not, but this is. She handed me the folder. The documentary people want to interview you, about rebuilding after family trauma, about finding strength in silence while influencer culture destroys families. No, I said immediately. Good answer. She tucked the folder away. Just wanted to make sure you meant everything you said about choosing peace. Dylan brought out more coffee, and we sat in the garden, watching bees visit the flowers that now grew where Maya once staged her perfect morning routine shots. You know what the best revenge turned out to be? I said. What's that? Living well. Actually living, not just performing life for likes. My phone buzzed one last time. Maya, from a new number. I hope you're happy in my house. I looked at the message, then at my flourishing garden, my peaceful home, my real life built on quiet strength rather than viral moments. It was never your house, I typed back. You just used it as a backdrop. I made it a home. Then I blocked her number, put down my phone, and turned to Dylan. Help me plant these new roses? He grinned. Always. The morning sun warmed my skin as we worked. No ring lights needed, no cameras rolling, no performance required. Just real growth, real peace, real life. They used to call this house Maya's stage. Now it's my sanctuary, and I wouldn't have it any other way.